It has been a week since the CAT results have been out, and many students obviously will not be happy with the percentiles which they would have scored, because I know that any student is not going to sit for the exam imagining that, okay, even if I score this much it will be just fine. No, everybody wants to be at the best B schools, wants to get the best percentile, and therefore this video, in fact not just this one, the next three in this series are for those who've not scored well in CAT, who've not scored as per their expectations. So I'll be splitting this into three parts, and in this first part, I'll be speaking to you about that. What if you're a student who has scored above a 90 percentile in CAT, however, it's not that magical percentile which will get you into the B school which you want to be in. What if you are that student who's in 90 to 100 percentile, and what is it that you now need to do? Because obviously there will be a lot of questions you'll be having, that which B school will I get a call from and all of that. I do not want you to encourage, I don't want to encourage you asking those questions, because frankly nobody can predict your calls. You can get the calls, and it'll be just about a week or two in which you'll get these calls. So just wait for that. However, this is a broad advice. So let's look at this mind map which I've created for you. If you've scored low in your CAT, there are two things which you need to see for yourself: that what is your percentile and how many attempts have you already taken at CAT. I would not want to give you a generic advice that, hey, if CAT has not gone well, koi baat nahi, there are much larger goals in life, sab chhod do ya fir do all of that. There are a lot of others who would be advising you the same thing, that hey, CAT is not the end of life and you can do very well. That is, that sounds good, but that's not practical, because for somebody like you who has spent 10 years studying for CAT, if I say to you that okay, CAT chhod do, without any logical train of thought, it might not sit well with you. Therefore my objective is to give you my logical understanding of how you should take this. Now here's the thing, I'll be creating three parts of this. The first part which you're watching right now is for those who have scored a 90 percentile and above, who are somewhat sure that okay, the best B schools which they were aspiring for will not call them most likely. Hence, at this stage, what you have to do, how do you need to think about yourself? Now, first of all, very important, you need to analyze the situation you are in. Considering that you've scored a 90 percentile in CAT, here is what I think about you: that your concepts are broadly good. You know the concepts, you know your basics well enough. However, surely, what is lacking, what will take you from a 90 percentile to a 99 percentile is not any additional knowledge per se, but whatever knowledge which you have, which has enabled you to score a 90 percentile, is enough for you to even score a 99 percentile, because probably the difference is in the test taking strategy. So probably that is where you lacked in this particular year. Now, having said that, what is it, what are the things which now you need to do? What are the actions which you need to take for yourself? Now, again, I would not give you a blanket advice for this. I would give you a very personalized advice on this. Depends on which number of attempt you are in of CAT. Because allow me to say this to you, but your attempt of CAT, which attempt you are in says things about you, not about you per se, but about your relationship with CAT, so to say. Now, what exactly do I mean to say by that? Now, here is what it is. Now, if you're somebody for whom this was his or her very first attempt at CAT and you've scored a 90 percentile plus, here is what I would simply advise you: definitely reappear. Definitely reappear the next year. If this was your very first attempt at CAT, and if you've cracked a 90 percentile in CAT in your first attempt, please do yourself a favor, give another attempt. As I've said, your basics are in the right place. All you need to do is take more mocks, take mocks. As I've said, revise concepts and take mocks. That will solve the problem for you. Do not miss this opportunity at being at some of the best B schools out there, because they are in a way life changing. They give you certain access, which if you can have, it's great. I'm not saying that if you don't have it then it's gonna be a big problem for you. No, not at all. In fact, when you'll see my other advice, other pieces of advice, you'll know that what my philosophy regarding an MBA is. But if you're somebody who in your very first attempt have scored a 90 percentile, do this, that you must go ahead and re-attempt QAT, that you must go ahead and re-attempt CAT, no questions asked. As simple as that, irrespective of what your age is, whatever this is. A lot of students also give me a lot of excuses that, hey, we are aging, we are like 24. Is 24 too late to appear for CAT? Is 26 too late to appear for CAT? No, it's not late. There is a reason why CAT or why MBA programs have no age limit. Even the normal 2-year MBA programs have no age limit. There is a reason for that. So never think about that. Do go ahead and reappear for CAT. Now, if you're somebody for whom this was your second attempt, and in your second attempt, this second attempt CAT percentile was above 90 percentile, then two two options you have in front of you. You have two options in front of you. Allow me to share both the options. The option number one is that, think about this, that okay, this was my second attempt at CAT and अब तो 2 अटेम्प्ट हो गए हैं. अब मुझे इस परसेंटाइल पे जो भी बेस्ट बी स्कूल मिलेगा, whatever B school I'll get on this percentile, I should take admission in it and I should just start my MBA program. That is the first option in which you can feel about. The second option could be, okay, then probably allow me to reappear. That let me reappear one more time, probably third time is the charm, and I would make it. Now these are the two options you will have. I'm very sure that even if you're in your second attempt, if you've scored a 90 plus, I don't think that you will be somebody who will think that, okay, CAT is not my cup of tea, I'll not be able to CAT crack. No, again, as I said, 90 percentile shows a lot about you, that CAT, you can crack CAT. So I hope that that is not something which is in your head. Now, here is what I would advise you. Just a minute, I think I messed up one of the things. Yeah, here is what I would advise you with regards to option number one. My advice is, you have 90 percentile, 90 plus percentile, it could be anything in that particular range. I would again say that probably you are close to getting a call from a good B school. You are very close to that point. Probably even at this point, even in your second attempt, going for a B school which is not something which you were interested in, will not be a good option for you. There are two reasons for that. Why I am saying that one, when you'll settle for a B school which was not as per your liking, you'll never feel good about your MBA program. That is the first thing which you need to have in your head. The second thing is that while at your percentile, which is a 90 plus, you will still get good B schools. You will get a IMT Ghaziabad, or you will get an IMI. These are good B schools, not bad at all. These are very decent B schools. But what I'm saying is that while you can take this option, I think that with focused mindset, you can crack a better school for sure. And one more thing I like to say is that the reason why I'm still advising you to probably reappear in your second attempt is a simple thing, that CAT does not require you to quit your job and vacate 1 year of your life and give it to CAT. CAT is not UPSC, my dear friends. CAT is not UPSC. So the beauty about CAT is that you go and work, you take up a job, you keep on working, and even if you have to give a third attempt, see, again, it's very important, provided that you've scored a 90. All of this is based on the assumption that you've scored a 90. I feel that even if you were to work for another year, take mocks, good practice, 90 से 99 या 8 कब हो जाएगा आपको पता नहीं चलेगा. Try करिए जरूर. And that is why I am saying that reappearing is probably what you should do. This is what my advice is for those for whom this was the second attempt and they've scored above a 90 percentile. Now quickly allow me to share my advice, my suggestion to those for whom this was the third attempt at CAT and your score in your third attempt is above 90 percentile. Here is what I have for you. Again, you have two options in front of you. One option is, again, settle for the best available B school which is in front of you. And the second option again is not reappear. But should you move on to some larger goals of your life, should you forget and close this CAT ka chapter, and should you do that, Now, from this, what you would have clearly been able to completely understand is that I am not advising you to reappear now for sure. मैं अब आपको दोबारा से एक चौथा अटेम्प्ट या पांचवा अटेम्प्ट देने को नहीं कह रहा हूं, because very frankly my personal opinion on this is that CAT or even ZAT or IFT or NMAT, any of these MBA entrance exams are not those kind of exams for which you need 3 years to crack it. Very frankly, आपको अगर तीन से ज़्यादा साल अगर आपको लग रहे हैं टू क्रैक कैट, प्रॉबेबली आपने कैट का गेम समझा नहीं है. प्रॉबेबली देयर इज अ, it's not going well with cat for you. Again, that does not say anything about you and your abilities. No, it's just that your relationship with cat is not good. Probably while you were studying for cat, probably your mind was occupied somewhere else, and probably if you think about, you can give your complete attention to that something and maybe make something great and amazing from it. Also at this point I would say that for those who've not scored well in CAT, I'll be conducting a workshop for you. For those who've not scored well in CAT, who think that they'll not get good calls and probably will have to reappear or will have to rethink or will have to forget CAT, there's a workshop for you. So while everybody is doing workshops and classes for those who have got calls, I plan to do, I want to talk to you if you're somebody who's not scored well. So find the link in the comments. You will find it there and just go for it. I'll speak to you inside that. Now, quickly allow me to share with you what is it that advice, what is it that I advise you at this stage. If you are somebody who has had 3 or more attempts and your latest attempt, your third or fourth attempt has been 90 plus, my simple advice to you is that both the options are okay. It depends on who you are, what you want to do. As simple as that. Okay. I'll give you my example for this very quickly. At IIM Udaipur, even in my final attempt, I scored a 98.9 percentile. That was not adequate for a general engineer male, which is what I am, to get into the better, best B schools which I wanted to be in. For example, ABCs, Ls of the world. I knew that this percentile will not get me there. Now, I had a conversion from IIM Udaipur. I had a conversion from some of the other IIMs as well. But, IIM Udaipur out of those was one of the best ones. I had that conversion I'm talking about. Not calls. Calls में तो मेरे पास और भी बहुत सारे थे. XLR, IFT, MDA वो सब नहीं. Conversion मेरे पास IIM U का था. A lot of you may know I have a speech problem. I stammer a lot. Earlier when I was an aspirant, I used to stammer even more. What I simply realized is that now is the time that if I have a final admission from IMU, I need to take this admission and need to end my story. How did I evaluate this? Simply, whether the B school where I'm finally trying to settle with, is it even good or not? IMU is a great B school. I mean, I knew for a fact that I would not regret about it that yaar kyun kara maine IMU se. No. I knew that it is a decent B school to be in. That is the first thing. The second thing is you need to realize your own reality. In my case, my reality was that I knew मैं जितना भी percentile ले आऊं, but मेरे साथ problems हैं दो. एक कि मैं हूं जनरल इंजीनियर मेल, दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है कि मेरे को स्टैम्परिंग का प्रॉब्लम है. सो व्हेन आई विल गो इन, सो थैंक्स टू द प्रॉब्लम नंबर 1 ऑफ मी बीइंग अ जेम, आई वुड रिक्वायर अ super high percentile to get calls from ABC, and thanks to my second problem of stammering, अगर मेरे अच्छे calls आएंगे भी, I might not even be able to clear those interviews. I have to be very practical. I was not being something कि यार शायद ये भी हो जाएगा मेरे साथ तो ये भी खराब हो जाएगा. No, I was being very practical that यार what are the chances? With 2 levels of hindrances, what are the chances? Therefore, I chose option number 1, that settle for the best option you have in front of you, because there is no point of moving on from CAT, because considering that even me being at IMU would have completely uplifted me. Again, the call is entirely yours. If you think that your existing salary, if you have work experience, if your existing salary is so much that the average of the B school you're planning to गो टू, अगर आपकी उतनी ऑलरेडी अगर है, अगर आपकी सैलरी अगर ऑलरेडी है उतनी, देन probably it's not the B school you should be at, probably. So this is that call. And then the second option which I had shared with you is also about it, that probably there is something else which is awaiting you, a very great startup which has to be created by your own hands. I am having a workshop on this for you. Please attend that. Do not forget to attend it. At what all can you do if you're not scoring well in CAT? There is so much you can do. Probably some job, you are destined to excel in a job, because I believe in this, that if you think positive, great things will happen to you. Great things, that is a truth. I am a good example of that, if you've heard my story about this. So that is it. That is what I have to share with you. Again, I'd quickly share my screen, because this is the summary. If you're somebody who has scored a 90 percentile and above in CAT, then this is my action advice to you. This is what you need to follow. I feel so. This is well thought out, after having seen examples of a lot of my friends, of a lot of students. I've created this. So this is something for you. Now, if you're somebody who's not scored above 90, probably somewhere in the range of 80 to 90, then my next video in this series will be for you, because I'll be giving you probably a different set of advices for you, for what you need to do. So if you're excited about that video, give me an excited in the comments. And obviously, do not forget to register for my workshop on what to do if you've not scored well in CAT. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot and goodbye.